Hey, welcome. Deb's Cooper, Global Stressologist. Woohoo! Let's see if this is. I love technology. That seems to be my little mantra lately. Thank you for joining me because I'm going to cover the three key differences between confidence and narcissism. So here we go. Drop in the chat if you're a hashtag replay or where you are in the world. That would be fantastic. Thank you. And grab your note-taking device because this is a goodie, and this is one that is coming more and more in conversations around us, and it's coming to a point where it's a little bit of an alertness going on. So here I go. When I say note-taking device, pen, paper, phone, whatever works for you. Narcissism, let me explain what narcissism is now. I'm just going to pull up my notes because narcissism, I had to get this one from the dictionary, the old Oxford Dictionary. Because it's such a thrown around word, narcissism means the excessive interest in or admiration of oneself and one's physical appearance. So there's a psychological definition of it, which is selfishness involving a sense of entitlement, a lack of empathy, and a need for admiration is characterizing a personality type. So when you think about narcissism, when I'm saying this, actually start thinking about people around who are demonstrating this, because we all know somebody in our world that we could label this. You might even label yourself this. It's okay. Then the psychoanalysis of it is self-centeredness arising from failure to distinguish the self from external objects, either in very young babies or as a feature of a mental condition. Now, narcissism does have a mental condition attached to it, but it's also in everyday life. And you can't just say, you're a narcissist and you have this, and you've got this going on and this is your everyday life for a certain person. You need to go away and get mentally fixed. It actually grows on us, and the more people become confident over the narcissism, this is where it can breed and extend. So let me just explain the three differences. So the one tip I'm going to say first is how to spot the telltales, and there are subtle telltales of this. So when I think that there's subtle telltales, they could look like this. So it means that somebody dominates a conversation without listening. Now, these sound simple, but they actually happen all the time. So someone dominates a conversation without listening, or they exaggerate their achievements, or they dismiss others' ideas. Okay, we're starting to get a picture of what this can look like. Or you're even feeling drained or invisible after you've been engaging with somebody. Now, I'm sure you can think of times like that where this has happened, because I personally know, even for me, this week it's been a bit like that. So what you can think about is a colleague. This happened to me recently. I was in a meeting, a Zoom meeting, and the colleague just constantly interrupted. And they brushed aside everyone else's opinion, everyone else's thoughts. And when I talked to the colleague, they said, well, I'm just being confident. And because they didn't speak up, well, I'm just going to speak up. And it actually, when they're speaking up, it actually deflates people around, and it leaves the others in the room silent. Does that relate to anybody? Yeah. So they say you've got to spot things to actually be aware of things. Hashtag stay the obvious. So I want you to notice the difference between true confidence invites a dialogue, not domination. True confidence invites a dialogue, not domination. You can think about that, can't you? Because when somebody's truly confident, they're not about to dominate, they're actually inviting that dialogue and they're opening it up. The other part to resolve this is actually to pause and check in with yourself, not with everyone else, because this is just about you. Pause and check in. Are they actually uplifting, or are they diminishing other people around? Are they uplifting or diminishing? And really just that. Are they uplifting? And then you just put them into a category. Uplifting, you or D. And it just allows your mind to think about what it is. But the other part is you've got to keep grounded. And when I say keep grounded, you want to keep grounded, but you're actually focusing on what's important to you, which is your values, not their volume. Not necessarily what they're saying, but actually your values. And when you can focus on your values, this is where you're going to get the greatest result, because it's actually about you, what's going on for you at this time. Now, the next figure I'm going to give you here, great, we've got balloons, love that. is keep your eyes open because people have agendas. People have agendas all the time, and if you're not alert enough, you may miss other people's ideas and agendas and skip past them, and then you're going to get in this shite. So, when these signs are coming up, what do you think about this? You can feel used after helping somebody. Just being aware of their agendas, you feel used after helping someone. Or people make promises and are never kept. People make promises and never kept. Or you even sense calm and charm. There's calmness and charmness in those people, but it's actually masking manipulation. Just even thinking about that, yeah. So it could be a colleague, and a colleague showers you with praise. You're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing. And then they ask for a favour. You're amazing, and you're like, okay, they haven't told me I've been amazing for the last 3 years. Now suddenly I'm amazing. Be aware of the agendas. So that they're praising and praising and praising. And then suddenly they ask for that big favour, and that favour actually doesn't benefit you, it actually benefits them. That's just an alert of what an agenda can look like. So, I want you to check in with yourself and just ask the very simple thing. What's their motive here? What's their motive here? Just as simple as that. What's their motive here? Now, you may not have their motive, you may not figure it out, and that's okay, but it's just making you just think and keeping those eyes open. So I want you to don't rush any decisions. Give space before you say yes. Giving space makes a huge difference. If somebody can't handle it, you're just going to go, yeah, let me think about that. Then they're not your people. They're not, and this is even colleagues, this is even bosses, etc., etc. So don't fall for that, or family members. And so I want you to stay anchored. And when I say stay anchored, I want you again to stay anchored in what's true to you, in your own values, what's true to you, so that you can actually see clearly. That's it, staying anchored. And I'm sure I said that in the last part, staying anchored. So it's really important to focus on what would you like. Now, the next one I'm going to give you is to self-trust. And when I think about self-trust, I really would like you to anchor in that self-trust. So there's signs that they show up. So it could be you do something and you second guess your words, all your choices, and it happens to happen with every person, with one particular person or one particular group or one particular example or something. So it's usually after that interaction that you're just second guessing, or you look for constant approval before you actually take action. Is this for me? Should I do this? And you're asking a lot of people around. And the other one is, when I think about anchoring into your self-trust, is you can feel small, and you feel small in the presence of louder personalities. You feel small in the presence of louder personalities. So it could be that you want to share an idea or something, and you're just holding back and you're waiting on someone else's validation to see if it's okay. I'm sure we've all done that, because I know I have, even this week. But actually later you end up beating yourself up because you've stayed silent. Yeah. So there's a few things to do with this one, anchoring into the self-trust. And you just put do not disturb on, because that's one thing I forgot, so thank you. Is I want you to affirm daily. This is just affirm daily and say to yourself, I trust myself to handle this. Now, even if you don't trust yourself, you're telling your brain and your body that I trust myself to handle this. It makes a big difference, because this believes you. This believes you. Even if you're just going, oh, I don't know if I do it. If you just say, I trust myself to handle this. That is as simple. Full stop. That's it. I don't have to overthink. I trust myself to handle this. Simple as that. Everyone now, just while I take a sip, I want you to say, I trust myself to handle this. Then I'll take a sip. Who said it twice? I said it twice. Everyone else slurping and slurping. The other thing is, my favourite is memory recall. So I want you to recall your past wins. Recall your past wins where you've made strong calls. Where you've actually gone, I've actually got that. I do know I have that. Yeah. And also, shoulders back, chest out. This is it. Go back to that standing tall physically. So when you stand tall physically and your shoulders are back, and it doesn't matter how tall you are, there is an analogy, I'm not going to say that here, but shoulders back, chest out, your body signals your brain that you've got this. From that and that, It literally is telling your brain, I've got this, but if you're like this, not necessarily have that. Now, I'm not sitting here like this just because I'm sitting in a seat, but my shoulders are back and I'm very certain of what I'm doing this one. Which brings me into my next strategy is actually communicating with clarity. And so when I'm talking about communicating with clarity, say what it is you're actually, you know how I just did a wobble there? It's those things, not being able to clear and precise in what I'm saying. So you're diluting your message so you don't upset other people. Or you swing between silence and then over-explaining. Over-explaining. There's that, I just hear people, I'm like, whoa, you need to stop, you lost me at the first sentence, let alone the second sentence of trying to explain why you're not doing something. But the other thing is there was this, a social media blurb, and it says, you're too much. You're too much. I've had people say to me, Deborah, you're too much, you need to quiet down. It's okay. They're entitled to their opinion. Does that mean I'm going to clearly do it? Depends. I might listen to them, I might not. But we fear that we're too much. Oh, I just want to be quiet behind this person, or I can't do that, or I can't say that. Any of that stuff, that overthinking. So it could be, even when you're giving feedback to somebody, you have to give feedback to someone. Yeah. And you just, they call it, well in New Zealand they call it the shite sandwich. So you powder it with loveliness, and then you drop the shite in the middle, and then you powder it with loveliness again. I'm sure there's another analogy for it. Feel free to drop it in the chat, the proper wording of it, that's how I do it. But what actually happens is, in that middle part, when you're going 10 lovely things at the start, or apologies, and then that middle part, and then 10 lovely things at the end, they're not actually getting that point in the middle. They're not hearing it, and this is what gets lost, and you walk away frustrated, like, they didn't hear me. Well, actually, you know what? You did 10 apologies at the start, with one impact that you wanted to get across, and then 10 at the end, so of course, how are they going to get that? So, what you want to be doing here is you want to state your truth without fluff. Just simple, without fluff. And you can use the I language. I feel, I believe, I think, because that's taking it back to you, and you're not blaming others for what it is, you're just taking it straight back to you. And also, when I think about clarity is actually kindness. Clarity is kindness, isn't it? Speaking with clarity is actually kindness, and it's beneficial to everybody to have that clarity than that wonderment that can run our mind like a marathon on a sprint cycle. The next strategy I'm going to give you is actually how to build healthy boundaries. And if you've watched me for some time, you'll know that that boundary word sometimes gives me a chill, sometimes gives me a frustration, because it's just like boundaries, I feel I'm confined. So how to build your healthy boundaries is when you know you're doing them. It's things like you say yes and you resent it later, or you take on other people's energies or stress, and then you're suddenly exhausted. You go to someone's house and you're like, yeah, I had a great time, I'm going to go to someone's house. And when you come out of there, you're like, oh, I just feel like the blood has been sucked out of me and I'm drained. Yeah. Or the other one is a great one for parents. Well, actually, I heard his mum last week actually about, she said she felt guilty for prioritising herself over her children. Whew. Wow. Yeah. I'm sure there's times all parents can talk that. So when I think about this, I want you to think of these resolution tips. And these resolution tips are to decide your non-negotiables. And when I say your non-negotiables, I mean your non-negotiables. Not your partners, not your parents, not your children's, not the schools, anything. What's non-negotiable to you? Your time, your energy, your respect, your morals. What are those non-negotiables for you? And you can say to people, I hear you, I'll come back to you tomorrow. Or I hear you and I need to rest. Or I hear you, I've just got other things going on at the moment. You don't have to say I've got other priorities going on. You know, there's certain words you can say now and say, do whatever you want, really. But say, I hear you and I just need to do something else. I'll talk to you later, or I'll come back to you tomorrow. Let's talk tomorrow. And you're just literally shutting that down. And this allows you to protect your serenity, so you can actually serve from strength rather than deflation. You're going to protect your serenity so you can serve from strength rather than deflation. Yeah, you can feel those ones, yeah. The next one I'm going to give you is
Have a guess. Have a guess when I bring up my drink bottle. What is it? Glitter bomb.
Do what lights you up. If you're not doing what lights you up, you're feeling flat, you're feeling colourless, you're feeling repetitive, it's just the same shite different days, you're putting priorities over other people and you're serving other people over yourself, or you've even lost touch with what actually excites you. I talked to a lovely gentleman yesterday, I said, when was the last time you laughed? He said, like, laugh, what do you mean laugh? I said, like, good old belly laugh where you just about where you can laugh. And apart from the fact he said, I just never wet my pants and I've never done it laughing. Just to clarify, I'm talking about a good old decent laugh. He said, I don't think I have for the last year. And that was like, what's going on? Why are you not even laughing at life? Life is fantastic. Let's laugh more. So it could be those things that we're scrolling on our phone. We're scrolling around our phone and it just feels blah. It just feels there's nothing. There's no feeling. And
it doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It just means your soul is calling for joy. Let's get that laughter in there. So ask yourself, what did I love as a kid? What I love as a kid? Kids, they laugh. Well, some laugh when they fall over, some laugh when other people fall over. I think I've still got that trait going on there. Well, what are those things? What do you love doing as a kid? So it could be something, dance, put your lipstick on, put your bare feet in the grass. What is that outside? Stand on the stones and realise that actually you're appreciating the grass, just trying to walk on stones and bare feet, that you've got really tough feet. What are those things? What are those things that light you up? Go and listen to one of my podcasts or my videos. Anything that sparks that shift in you. Get a sparkling drink bottle. Mine's from Tomo. Mine's from Tomo. I love my drink bottle. You'll see this often. I do have other colours, but I just I just like my little rose gold one for that. But what are those things? Drink your water out of a wine glass. Whatever that is, what are those things that light you up? And because they are the ones that get you through life. They are the ones that get you through. But the last one I'm going to say actually here is you're not alone. And I say that because guess who's here? That would be me. So when I think about this, you feel like no one's, Deborah's never dealt with this. I'm coming up 20 years in my business. I can tell you when people tell me stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I remember that 4 years ago. I remember someone who had that same problem. You are not alone in your problem. You're not isolated. I fully can understand. You just think people can't understand. You think about your behind the scenes and other people's have this beautiful, crazy life reel that they show on social media. Well, that's actually a crock of shite. That is a crock of shite. You're 3 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep, you feel like you're alone, you're crying, you're doing whatever, and you're going through those perfect freaking social media reels, and that you're the only one struggling. You are not. Please reach out, whether you feel vulnerable or not. All you got to do is just reach out. I'm coming up, as I said, 20 years. I've seen behind the mask. No one has it all together. No one at all. I was on a call the other day with somebody in a group call, and there was a gentleman on there, and I could just tell he was not. He just wasn't 100%. And I want to be there to help you. This is why I'm doing this. So please lean in. I want to be there to remind you that you are phenomenal. You are here to live this life in whatever way it is, and I will do my best to get you in that place. You just have to lean in. You can't lean in, I can't help you. That's it. Because the videos I give are great. They've definitely got some solid information, but if you just want to go that step further, but even if you think you do have your life in order, there's always another level from that. There's always another level that can go from that. So when I think about this, I'm wrapping up now, people. I want you to know, are you playing the game of life to the fullest? Are you playing the game of life to the fullest? And if you're not, or if you are, I want to think about what action step, what's your highest priority action step you're going to do today. After listening, what's your highest priority action step you're going to do today that's going to help you achieve your inspiration? What is that? What is that highest priority action step you're going to do today? So, that is my 3 key differences between confidence and narcissism. And by the way, did you notice I actually went more than 3? Because, trying to do 3 was a little bit restricted for me. So thank you for joining me. That's Deb's Cooper, Global Stressologist. I will see you next time on my next video. Have a fabulous day. Take care. Enjoy. Bye.